Hello and welcome to part 2 of this Paint With Me video where I share how I painted this semi-abstract landscape. As you might recall from the previous video, I had some technical difficulties whilst filming it, which is why I had to split this video into 3 parts. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, I'll share a link here at the top as well as in the description box below. Now, grab yourself a drink, maybe a snack, get cozy, and let's roll the tape. So, paper is now dry, and this is what we are trying to achieve. So we are now working on the background of this area. I've allowed the paper to dry, and I think I will start with this bit, during the scratchy bits, and then we can move over to the sky and then the water. Okay, sounds like a plan, I think. Okay, let's do this. For that, what I'll do is I will do a thicker mixture of the Payne's gray. I think I also applied a bit of black. So there's some water. It needs to be wet as well, but not too watery, because you want the pigment in there, and it doesn't matter if it mixes up with brown a bit. And yeah, I think I'll also add a bit of black. This is, can't remember if it's ivory or lamp black. It's one of the blacks. And let's do a test. Yeah. So what we do now is we grab our piece of card and we're just going to swish it around, push the paint one side to the other. And what you want is for the paint to be on there. Now, if it doesn't come out perfect, that's fine. That's totally fine. That's the nice thing about this type of paintings. It's, you never know what you're going to get. With a bit of an angle, place the card right atop that white line, and then also on this bit with a bit of an angle, and then you just scrape. And you can move a bit more and scrape a bit more. You can even, whoops, I messed up there, but it's fine. You can even scrape it a bit to the side, but I think I don't have any paint left. So you do the same thing again. And like I said, now this part is a bit complicated as well, because it all depends on the direction that you give it. So like, if you want it to be more busy here or more busy there. Now I'm going to use the shorter end because I want there to be a bit more paint on this side, and I'm just going to move it sideways. Make sure that you don't press too hard, because you don't want to damage the paper. After all, you are wetting paper, and this is a hard, scratchy edge. So just make sure you don't scratch too hard so as not to damage the paper. And then we'll also fix it afterwards with a brush, to fill it up the way that we want it to go. And if you want to do like little like tree trunks like that, you can also do that. I like the way it's looking. Although that one's looking a bit too straight, but it's fine. Doesn't have to be perfect again. I need to, it's not so much that I remind you guys not to be perfect. It's more like I'm talking to myself, that I need to remind myself that it doesn't have to be perfect, It's more, it's more an enjoyment of the process more than the finished piece itself. So I'm happy with how this is looking for now. Now I'm going to do the bottom bit as well. So I mix it up again. And I think I'm going to start right below the white little line there. And this one's a bit more complicated because of the angle. See, this one is not correlating. Oh well, see, we always mess up. It's fine. I'll use the smaller edge. It's not that easy, eh? There's a lot of play involved, but there's a lot of thinking through as well. See, and that's where I'm gonna have to fix it with my brush. And I also don't want it to go all the way here. So if I wanted to, I could even use a piece of paper to avoid painting other areas, but not working as I wanted to. Oh well. Okay. So that one didn't work out too well. Apologies for that. And see, this thing is a hit and miss, you know, like before I did this one, I had done the first version, which was this one, and I wasn't too happy with it. And as you can see, it's a hit and miss. You know, some days it works fine, others not so fine. So we do what we can. And I'm just gonna go with it, I think. So a bit more. I don't know if it's maybe my angle is not the right one. It's also the paper starting to buckle, and that's going to give it a more surface touching the paint. Okay. Now make sure that you wipe it clean because we will use it for this side as well with a lighter color. So this is where my little Escoda brush comes in handy. We'll just wet it and we'll fix this a bit. We'll grab our mixture. And just sort of paint it. It's more like helping it have this shape rather than painting the whole thing in a detailed manner. Sorry for being silent, but this takes a bit of concentration. So on my original one, I didn't leave it white. I think for this time, I'm going to leave it white. I like that white space there. And now we just add a bit more detail, you know, like give it a bit of shape to insinuate that it's a water reflection, a reflection on the water. So we do some horizontal strokes. No, just a bit. It's more where it feels natural. And also don't use too much paint. You don't want the brush to be all soaking wet. There. Now what I notice is that the contrast is a bit too much. So let's just look at it. Yeah, it's looking too crisp. So what I'll do is clean my brush, grab a bit of water, just a bit, and we are going to soften the edges a bit. Just a bit. especially where there's a lot of pigment. And you can also add a bit more paint as well if you feel like it needs some of it. See, many of these things are very intuitive for me. I don't know how to describe it. That is why it's very hard for me to explain, like give a detailed explanation or a step-by-step guide of what I'm doing, because then I'm having to double or second guess, sorry, my decisions, and then it doesn't flow very well. A bit more water. There. And now what I will do as well is with my wet brush, I will pick up a bit of the indigo, just a bit. And I'm also going to wipe it a bit. And just add a few details, not too many though. You don't want it to look like an illustration, you know, just a hint, as you can see. And it's also, it's more like a gray indigo what I have on my mixture. It's just a bit. There, I think I'm happy with that. And I can even add some in here. But I'll try not to go crazy with it. I know I sometimes make the mistake of just drifting. You know, my mind drifts, and I'll be painting water, and then once my mind goes away, so to speak, I'll just keep on painting, and then I realize that I've overdone it. So that happens a lot to me. So I don't want to overdo it this time. So I'm gonna stop there for now. And now let's move to this bit. Okay, let's just leave our small brush for now and grab the other one again. So we rinse it because it still had the whatchamacallit, the Payne's gray on it. And what we want is to grab this mixture again, which was a watered down version of the Payne's gray and the brown Van Dyke. But since this is too water, it's not going to have too much pigment. I'll just add a bit more Van Dyke, because I also want it to be a bit more on the brown side rather than the gray side. Okay, so I need to have enough mixture so that I can grab it with my card. This is gonna be interesting. Again, I'm gonna make sure that the edges are clean. And I don't want to do it exactly as this one. I don't want it to look exactly like this. So this one can, I'm actually, yeah, I'm going to, this one's clean. I'm just going to add a bit of water. So I want it to bloom and spread around. I don't want it to have these stark lines. The bottom bit I'll leave as it is for now. And I'm also going to place it again on the edge and just pull a bit. See what I'm saying about the blooming? So that's looking nice. But I think I should have a bit more water around here. Yeah, I think I want to have everything spread. I mean, I could do this perfectly well with a brush as well, but I find this to be fun. There you go. See? And then you don't even have to scrape too much. The paint will just start spreading around. So this looks more like sorry, I can't speak. Like a grouping of trees. Also like another forest bit. And it's all like brown trees, you know, it's like it's winter, there are no leaves, and these are just like the the trees that are dormant for the winter. They've lost all their leaves, and they're there, you know, and they're further in the back. This one is a bit more up front. Yeah, or it could also be, you know, like a mysterious castle from a magician, you know, a wizard who lives there. That's your imagination, you know. Could be whatever you want. Now, so I like how it is. I'm going to add a bit more pigment in there, just like that. And with my tiny brush and a bit of water, I'm just going to spread it. Yeah, let's add a bit more water. Let it bloom. Yeah, I like this better. I'm grabbing a bit more pigment as well. There. So sadly, this is where I had to stop recording. Not only because my phone was overheating, but also because the recording was already over 25 minutes long. The magic of editing, right? But fear not, dear friend, because part 3, the final one, will be out in a week's time. So make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss it. Again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking this long with me. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. See you next time. Bye.